Okay, so about non-heterosexual histories, if you want to look at, there are some sources. Of course, there is the work of Ruth Vanita and Salim Kidwai. There were also some stories that were written at this time, and I would urge you to read Tanika Sarkar's new book, Women and Religion, which touches upon some of these sources. For example, there was this very interesting story written, I'm forgetting the name, by a Bengali widow, and she was writing letters to this very dear woman with whom she became very close, and she addressed all those letters as Priyatam. And Priyatam, we know, is often used, to address your lover. And those letters were caught by her family, and they thought that she is having an affair, a love affair with a male, and she was killed by her family. And then this friend of hers revealed that actually those letters were addressed to her. Now, even if, this kind of non-heterosexual love is sometimes expressed in very muted forms, in very hidden forms, so that needs to be acknowledged. And of course, I have talked about it. There's this translation available. For example, there was this collection of stories called Chocolate, which was written by Pandey Bechen Sharma Ugr, which talked about homosexual relationships in public spaces, in parks, in jails, in libraries, and it is actually those stories were written in a very titillating fashion. They had story titles like Hum Fidaye Lucknow, Kamariya Nagan Sibal Khai, and they are talking of the wide prevalence of homosexuality actually. So there are some sources. If there's this much stories, there are some sources, but of course, I think it is very difficult. These are hidden histories. Uh, Anjali Arondekar, for example, talks about this report which has vanished and from the archives, which was written by Richard Burton, which talked of the male brothels of Karachi. And again, the report has disappeared from the archives. And for her, it is interesting that why a particular report disappears. So she draws a history from the missing report, actually, of these male brothels. So again, I think one has to really dig up, but there are some sources. There was hardly any case actually that came under Section 377, during the colonial times. So that is why perhaps there are such few histories of same-sex desires written in colonial India. There are much more ubiquitous sources in the post-colonial period.